1-800-449-8255, baby. Right here on the preposterous Clark the Shit Show. I admit it, you guys, the greatest talk radio show ever in mankind. Not just in 2024. When I had that vision where I saw God, he tricked me. He's like, Clark the Shark, your talk radio. He made me feel like he meant in 2024, 2023. And I was like, well, that's awesome, God. It's good to know I'm that great to someone or, in the universe. And he's like, Sharky, we're talking the almighty God here. We're not just talking about someone. And I'm like, all right, God. Clark the Shark is great, amazing, blah, 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 fantabulous Sharky, the all-knowing, all-seeing seer of seers. You guys, I might not be, come on, I don't predict elections like Alan Lichtballs does. But God was like, Sharky, you forgot to review Egg. And I'm like, dude, Egg, what do you mean? He's like, Egg, Sharky, like Khan and Genesis, ELP, Yes, all that fucking crappy progressive rock you grew up on, Sharky. I'm like, oh, dude, of course, Egg. Right here on the Sharky Show. And I'm like, I just want to talk about how God thinks my talk radio show is number one in 2024 or something. And I'm like, that makes me proud, Lord. And he's all, no, Sharky. I don't know why you say that. I didn't say 2024. I said in the history of all mankind. Sharkadoodle-doo, the Sharkalama Ding Dong, the Wolfman Jack on crack, blah, 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 whatever. And I'm like, God, I know really deep down you don't think I'm as good as Hush Bimbo and Michael Weiner and Hannity and all those guys. And he's all, I do. You're much better. Much more knowledgeable, Clark the Shark. And for example, unlike Hush Bimbo and Rogan, Howard Douchebag, and Stephen A. Smith. Oh, they're such geniuses, especially Rogan and Smith. They just learned about politics this year, you guys, in 2024. A year ago, if you went up to Rogan, he'd be like, I don't know, I work out, I drink raw eggs, I eat vitamins, and I work out. I'm like, dude, don't you know, what Hannity, Anderson Pooper, the difference? He'd be like, no, I go to the gym. That's a waste of time, Sharky. I'm like, all right, dude. Well, what else do you know? He's all, I know jujitsu, kung fu, lifting weights, and tattoos. Oh, I get it. You're one of those guys who want to impress the ladies or if you're gay, you want to impress the men or whatever. And he's all, bite your tongue, Sharky, and man up. Now drop and give me 50. I'm like, dude, you're speaking to Clark the Shark here, buddy. I know about fucking Egg. He's like, I don't care, Sharky. Give me knuckle push-ups. I'm like, dude, I'll fucking do hand clap push-ups, motherfucker. Because I know about Egg, Rogan, and you don't. Right here on the Clark the Shit Show. And people are like, Sharky, I mean, you're always trying to get us into that shitty progressive crap, Genesis, Steve Howe, Chris Squire, Carl Palmer, blah, blah, Bobby Caldwell, Captain Beyond, all that shit. Eloy, Gentle Giant, Khan. Well, dude, I like Egg more than Khan right here on the Clark the Shit Show. I do, you guys. This album is fucked up or something. 1970. Okay, let's frame the situation. You had bands like Genesis, Peter Gabriel. They put out Trespass. I like the album. I like the debut Genesis album more, you guys. From Genesis to Revelation. That's like the story of me, Clark the Sharkulation. It's like a big simulation, and I created everything, including all of your miserable little lives. But one of the best creations I ever did was Egg. Three-piece, you guys, just three guys. I love bands like this. I mean, I like Emerson, Lake and Palmer more. And Keith Emerson, God rest his soul. They went commercial with this shit and got on the radio. I mean, Egg never really did that, you guys. But if you guys want to hear a fucking amazing band, I suggest you listen to The Nice. Some people call them The Niece. I call them The Nice. But what a band. I mean, there was some radical shit going on in the British prog movement. Everyone loves Khan. I think they're kind of overrated. They're awesome, you guys. But for me, the first 5 Genesis albums are incredible. Right here on the Clark the Shit Show. But you can tell that Genesis loved Egg. 1970, the way this album noodles along with the keyboards and the bass and drums are tight, you guys. They are. This album wasn't a big influential thing, with Clark the Shark. And a lot of people say Dave Stewart from the Eurythmics. It's not. This is a different Dave Stewart, you guys. And Mont Campbell sings on just a few of these songs. His real name is Dirk, like Dirk McQuickley from the Ruddles. But the bass is incredible. I love the way the drums, Clive Brooks, awesome. Lock in. And then the keyboardist is just dweedling along, like Keith Emerson. It's very much like Emerson, Lake and Palmer. You can tell they got their sound from this, you guys. King Crimson, all that shit. It's all intertwined, intermingled, intermixed. But I want you to listen to all of it, you guys. Now, the vocals it seems like they don't go for very long on this, and it eventually starts to bust into like a progressive, weird, noisy album, but it keeps it in focus. The ducks stay in a row. They do, you guys. It doesn't get all completely weird like ELP. It holds it together for the most part, and it becomes like an instrumental rock opera or something. I fucking love it. But to proggies like me, Clark the Shark, and people that like that music, these guys are legend. And these 3 guys, and they only did like 3 albums. These guys weren't around very long. And that's a bummer because I wonder what they could have and would have done had they gotten more commercial. Would have been interesting, you guys. As it is, they're very melodic. The keyboards are almost like the Doors or Iron Butterfly or something, dweedling off to the side, but much more progressive, of course. Much more like ELP and Keith Emerson type of shit. It's fucking awesome. When I say commercial, you guys, I don't mean like they would have turned into Phil Collins and, ABBA crap and all that shit that I reviewed. I like music that meanders and dweedles. Like I'm not even sure if dweedle is a word, you guys, but I like weird shit and I love Egg. I used to listen to this more than Genesis, like the album Nursery Crime. You can tell that album, when Genesis did that, they were listening to Egg. There's no doubt, dude. Listen to the 2 albums or any of the first 5 Genesis albums. They were trying to either be like Egg or emulating Egg or something. But you can't copy Egg. These guys are progressive legend epics, like Masters to us, lame. Boring people like Clark the Shark that sit around listening to 23-minute songs. I fucking love them. I'll sit in the bathtub and listen to all of Genesis, Selling England by the Pound, or like Emerson, Lake and Palmer, all the albums. Brain Salad Surgery. I love it. And a lot of people are like, Shark, that gets fucking lame. It's boring. I don't think so. Me, Clark the Shark, I love it. right here on the Clark the Shark Show. And I want you to buy this album by Egg at Amazon, Spotify, iTunes, everywhere. Because when I grew up in the South Bay, Redondo Beach, Torrance, and all that shit, Hermosa Beach, forming my musical muse, of course, which would change the world. None of you are disappointed. You email me and you're like, Sharky, will you produce, like, will you record me? Will you take my demo? And I'm like, no, you haven't earned the right to give Clark the Shark your demo. You don't have the knowledge and visionary skills and progressive lingo of Egg 1970, this masterpiece album. It really is, you guys. I love trippy keyboards, locked in drumming. I don't think this guy's the world's greatest drummer. I probably would have been better, you guys. Seriously. He's kind of legend to Prague East, Clive Brooks. But to me, Clark the Shark, you know, I don't know. You know, it's like, I don't care what the stars say. It busts out with just like Bulb, you know, and then the song While Growing My Hair with the meandering, dweedling keyboards. And then, you know, the vocals are kind of a narrative here for the first few songs. And then they disappear, and this album melds, if you will, into a progressive, just a really boring, shitty progressive album. Movement 1 and Movement 2 are incredible, though, and Blame. That's how I feel about me, Clark the Shark. It gets angry, too. You know how Keith Emerson starts rocking his keyboards, not just with ELP, but he did it in The Nice, you guys. And how Carl Palmer just starts exploding on drums. This album definitely does that. It gets angry, it gets moody. And, of course, Movement 4, side 2, they laughed when I sat down at the piano. That's me, Clark the Shark. When I come around the South Bay, they just all laugh. Like, we know more than you, Shark. We're liberals. Didn't you know, Sharky, we vote for Kamala? I'm like, you guys in Redondo, Torrance, Hermosa Beach, you can suck a fucking cock and go vote for Kamala some more. Because she lost. Right here on the Clark the Shit Show. Or I'm not talking about politics right now, you guys. I'm talking about this amazing 1970 brooding, moody movement album of shitty, awful, terrible progressive rock, but I love it. You know, me, Clark the Shark. When I was up in Beverly Hills being a landscaper, they called me Kato. Long before there was Kato Kaelin, and I don't know why they called me Kato. In the 80s, like in 1987, I lived in a guest house. I guess Kato is just the word or the name you give to a fucking loser that lives in a guest house. Dude, there's a millionaire, billionaire, Arabic oil guy that owned, I guess it's called Owlwood, this big mansion in Holmby Hills or Beverly Hills, whatever, on Carrollwood, right across the street from where Michael Jackson died. Of all people, right here on the Clark the Shit Show. And I lived at Owlwood in a guest house. And my brother Greg and all the other, his girlfriend or wife or whoever, and all the other landscapers, they called me Kato. I'm not kidding you guys. There was no Kato Kaelin yet. And that was one little hint that this is all a sharkulation that I wrote. You know how you look back at your life and there's weird little things like glitches in the Matrix, and you're like, what, dude, I fell off a cliff and I died. And someone's all, no, you didn't, dude. You stepped on an invisible force that held you up. I'm like, no, dude, I was walking down a cliff, I remember, in a dream, and I fell down. There was nothing there, and I died. And they're like, no, you didn't, Sharky. You're just on the Clark the Shit Show, 1-800-449-8255, the Wolfman Jack on crack from the Golden EIB shitrophone. Because it's made out of human feces from my toilet, you guys. It's not a sharkophone, nor is it a microphone. It's better, cleaner, faster delivery than Eminem, Hannity, Dr. Dre, Eazy-E, Michael Weiner, Anthony Weiner, Fredo, Cuomo, amazing, gifted, talented people like Mark Levin, the genius who wrote Men in Black, and that other genius, great one, Wayne Gretzky, better than him too, right here on the Clark, the Fabulous Shark shit show, where I'm talking about Egg, probably my favorite progressive rock album. Dude, if you like meandering keyboard shit, locked in drumming, not really super technical bass, but good enough, interesting bass, locked with keyboards, tight. I love that shit, you guys. It's like jazzy, fucking almost like garage prog, but no, it's polished. It's together and it's moody. And I think all the progressive bands in the 70s owe a debt of gratitude to Egg, you guys. Dave Stewart, not the guy from the Eurythmics, a different guy. A lot of people say that. It becomes folklore, legend. But the dude in the Eurythmics is not the same Dave Stewart, you guys. It is not. But me, Clark the Shark, I am the same guy that wrote She's a Bitch and Then You Live. It ain't easy, you know. Brandy. Are you making up Shark's mind? You know Shark does that all the time, baby. Directly from Redondo Beach, Torrance, the South Bay. It is I, the great one, Clark the Shark. Forget Gretzky and Levin. Those guys fucking suck. They'll never be as gifted or knowledgeable as I, the amazing psychic, me, Clark the Shark, with ESP. There was once this lady named Mrs. Humphreys, and my dad knew. She was a Catholic, clairvoyant, psychic, mystic. She knew the past. She knew the future. She was amazing and genius, but she cannot touch Clark the Shark because I know about Egg. Is this more technical than Genesis? Tony Banks, Mike Rutherford, and all that? No, those guys are better than Egg. But those guys ripped off Egg, you guys. I believe it. And I believe Phil Collins, kind of ripped off this drummer. Maybe, I don't know. I love technical locked in shit. I do, you guys. Do I like Keith Emerson more? Yeah, God rest his soul. He blew his head off, kind of like Blake Douchebag. Probably over a misunderstanding, you guys. There must be some misunderstanding. Woo! There must be some misunderstanding. Sharky. You guys, don't kill yourselves, man. Don't ever do that. If there is a God, I don't know if he's going to send you to hell. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. Maybe God's a big liberal. He just forgives everybody, or maybe he doesn't. Right here on the Clark the Shit Show, I don't know. But don't end up like Blake Douchebag. And don't end up like Keith Emerson, dude. I can't believe the guy would do that and kill himself. He should have been listening to some Egg. This progressive rock, meandering, wandering. It loses its way, you guys, and just gets all confused. And I love that. That's why it's like my favorite album of all time. It is, you guys. It was this album that got me into Genesis and got me into ELP. And believe you me, this isn't as good or better than those. Or, maybe it's equal. I don't know. Right here on the Clark the Shit Show. But this album's important. It's almost like it was at the dawn, the breakthrough era, 1970. There were other incredible albums. King Crimson comes rocketing straight to mind. Come on, you guys. Robert Fripp and all that shit. Greg Lake. God rest his soul, man. He's gone, man. Greg Lake's gone. Fuck. We're all going, dude. We're all getting old. But the thing with Keith Emerson is sad, dude. Sad, sad, sad. I hate to see that. I don't give a shit about Blake Douchebag. Fuck that guy. And other people who... Jim Morrison. I don't really care about the Lizard King. And even if Vladimir Putin wants to launch missiles at us, or Zelensky and Joe Biden want to launch missiles at them, and the whole shit house goes up in flames, motherfucker, just like the Lizard King said. I don't care, you guys, because I'll be right there at the end in Armageddon listening to Egg. This album right here, you guys, progressive and simple. It's stark. It just keeps it empty. It doesn't get all too overdone or something. The way it can breathe. You got the keyboards in one speaker, you got the drums and the bass in the other, and then there's a guy kind of narrating, singing. I like it, you guys. Me, Clark the Shark, I tried to kind of do that with the Greenhouse Effect with Phil Keegan. I love that phase of GE, you guys. Number One, coke snorting and all that shit. Snake, A Current Affair. In some weird way, it all goes back to Egg. Back to the beginning. The origins. The seminal years, times, if you will. Right here on the Clark the Shit Show. This album is like the father of progressive rock or something. Maybe not, dude. Come on. King Crimson, Genesis. The Who, Tommy, maybe, dude. I don't know. Everything owes a debt of gratitude to that album. Yes, of course, geniuses. Chris Squire. But there's something about Egg where people stop and they're like, this album, there's just something about it, dude. And I think people get it all confused. They think like Dave Stewart from the Eurythmics is in this. He wasn't. Not Stuart Copeland. Who's the other guy in the Police? Andy Summers goofed around briefly with the Soft Machine. Not in their glory years, you guys. No way. But it becomes legend. It becomes folklore. And in the South Bay, everyone's like, Clark the Shark was in everything. He was the drummer in over 50 bands around town. Legendary folklore, mythical genius. But I will never be genius like Egg. Seminal, the beginnings, the early days. 1970. I was only 5 years old, you guys, when this album came out. Egg. You know. This is just a child. What do I know? What do I know here on the Clark the Shit Show? I don't know much, you guys. I'm just a human like you guys. I'm no better, no smarter. I'm not as smart as Scranton Joe, you guys. No way. I don't know how to fucking bring in 30 million people from, Antarctica and make the rent $8,000 a month. It takes a real fucking treasonous genius to do that. I don't even know how fucking Trump can clean up all this shit, you guys. You guys vote for him? What the fuck can he do now? Our country's fucked. 1-800-449-8255. But I want you to chill and mellow out. Don't be like Clark the Shark, you guys. Just chill and listen to some Egg. Progressive rock that changed the world, you guys. It did. All the proggies look to this album. They're all like, Egg. When you listen to it, you're like, dude, big deal. It's just ELP, you know? Wow. It's not, you guys. This is before ELP. ELP expanded upon this. I mean, Greg Lake started singing over this or something. Or, Keith Emerson, went fucking wild with this shit. Egg. But in the beginnings, you guys, in the formidable years, I don't even know if those words apply, but in 1970, at the dawn, at the birth of prog British rock from Canterbury or Surrey or wherever they're from. They're always from Oxford. I saw Tony Banks when he was in this band. They were a little jazzy called Over the Garden Wall. And Mike Rutherford was only the roadie. And Phil wasn't even a roadie. He was he's outside. He's a limo driver. Yeah, you guys, Egg, they're all like British eccentric geniuses. But there's something about this album that I want you to buy at Amazon, iTunes, Spotify, because in so many ways, all the proggies look to Egg. as that album that changed the world. You guys, it didn't. I don't think it did. I think there's other albums that speak, in the Court of the Crimson King. Come on. They speak more to me, Clark the Shark. But there's something about the way Egg speaks. 1970. Buy this album and get into prog rock like me, Clark the Shark. I fucking love it. Yeah, I'll review Con. Dude, I reviewed every fucking Con. I mean, one thing about these bands, they don't last or something, or eventually they start going pop. Don't ask me how proggy guys end up, ELP is such a great fucking band, and then it's like Love Beach, or Genesis is all these amazing albums with Peter Gabriel and Steve Hackett, and then they're like ABBA crap. It's sad, you guys. And people say the same thing. They're like, Clark the Shark was so deep with Phil Keegan. And then he just wants to make pop tunes, and sound like Tears for Queers or something. I don't care what you say, dude. Listen to all phases of my music. It's always prog. Always, you guys. I don't think I ever sell out. I think I start writing more radio-friendly songs, but they're still good. I mean, there's a lot of people in the South Bay that say Brandy, even though it's number one on the radio, it's still like could pass as prog or like technical rock or something. Yeah, dude, it could. I don't let you guys down. I keep it, if I'm going to go commercial, dude, I'm not like Phil Collins. I'm going to fucking make good shit no matter what. Right here on the Clark the Shit Show. And she's a bitch. Hell yeah, dude. Commercial, on the radio, pop, and yet prog, baby. And I owe it all to Egg. I do, right here on the fabulous, incredibly dynamic and sophisticated genius Clark the Shit Show, because it all goes back to one sperm and one egg. I mean, you guys think you like Genesis, Tony Banks, Mike Rutherford, and all that, or Chris Squire, John Anderson, Steve Howe, Asia. Dude, sometimes I like Asia more than Yes. I can't figure it out. I like Steve Howe, the way he meanders and doodles and dweedles all over Asia albums. He actually ruins the fucking albums, and I love it. Some guys all, Soul Survivor, whoa, and you got this guy all, and the other fucking speaker. Dude, that's kind of like me, Clark the Shark. I'll accept it. I'll tolerate it. I love it. John Wetton, by the way, dude, amazing. I think he's gone too. We're all going, you guys. Me, Clark the Shark, I'm not going to live forever. When I die, dude, go to my grave and be like, Clark the Shark was an Egg fan. He liked all that fucking shit, and so did we, but we liked Egg more or something, dude. I can't fucking figure it out. Dude, I like Captain Beyond more, dude. Come on. Rhino, Reinhardt. Fuck. Amazing. Bobby Caldwell. Don't ask me how Lee Dorman is in that shit after being in Iron Butterfly, but he is, and he's fucking awesome, amazing, incredible, you guys. But there's something about Egg. Everything always brings me back to Egg. The beginnings, the seminal phase. The world was changing, 1970. We had recently elected like a new president or whatever. Kind of like now in 2024, right here on the Clark the Shit Show. It doesn't matter what I say or what I think. I want you to buy this album, Egg, and learn all about it and all these guys. Yeah, go get into Con. I don't fucking care. Get into ELP and Genesis. I'll tell you the best Genesis album right now, it's Foxtrot. It's not selling England by the pound, you guys. It's not. And actually, Love Beach has interesting shit on it, you guys. It does. People hate Love Beach. You guys, that was supposed to be funny. You know the cover where they all look disco? Like, that was supposed to be a joke and no one got it or something. Like they were the Bee Gees. It went right over everyone. I got it right away, dude. But then again, I'm Clark the Shark. I'm kind of tuned in right here on the Clark the Shit Show. The Wolfman Jack on crack motherfucker from the golden EIB shitrophone, because it's made out of solid shit directly from my toilet. Clark the Shark, it's true. It's not a microphone, and it's no longer a sharkophone. It's a shitrophone, baby. And I want you here daily listening, and I want you praising me and or praying to me. I won't answer your prayers, you guys. I'm not God, but I'm like mini me. God is God, and then I'm mini God, me, Clark the Shark. And it's all a sharkulation. And when it's all over, you'll all be sent back to your miserable little pathetic lives. I'm going to take care of the Oompa Loompas myself. I don't fucking care if you give me the everlasting gobstopper, Charlie. I'm not giving you the chocolate. Fucking dude, now you're making me stutter. I'm not giving you the chocolate factory. Here. No. I'm taking care of the Oompa Loompas. I got invoices, receipts, invoices, putting together a grandfather clock all over the ground. You guys ever see the cover of Death and Taxes, Paradigms for a New Quarter? That's me on the floor with a clock, forever putting it together with invoices, receipts, paying the electrical bill to SDG&E, paying Verizon, paying nationwide car insurance, paying the mortgage, paying the rent, fixing the smog check. And you're like, well, wait a minute, Sharky. That's me too. Right here in the Sharkulation. You better bet, baby, because I put you that way. You're going to be like Sharky. You're going to play a sure mean pinball. Because you ain't going to follow me in any of those ways, although you think you must. You know where to put the cork, baby, when Sharky's talking. Fuck that album, The Who, Tommy. I don't care. Listen to Egg. It's more important. You'll get more wisdom. Don't ask me how or why. Dude, I tell you guys, proggies love this fucking album. We worship Egg. It's not that good. It's not that great or something. And then you listen to it over and over and like, wait a minute, what the fuck is this shit? Egg. Right here on the Clark the Shit Show. Make sure you buy it and get into it. Celebrate it. Dude, you want to hear a good fucking album? You want to hear a great fucking amazing album. It's kind of like The Who, Quadrophenia. That album's fucking awesome, you guys. But the greatest album in my view is the Genesis one where Peter Gabriel leaves and it's Phil on vocals. A Trick of the Tail. Fucking awesome, you guys. If you want to hear a great fucking album, listen to that shit. It's not too progressive and not too commercial and too progressive and too commercial all at the same time. It's fucked up. I love it, you guys. Right here on the Clark the Shit Show. Fucking lost my shit here. There you guys, you know my secret code. I don't fucking care. Egg. When I think of this album, Egg, I think of Keith Emerson dude, why did the guy kill himself? When a quality person like that dies, all alone and sad, and he said it's because I can't play keyboards. He probably in an English accent. He's like, I can't play keyboards anymore. I can't let me fans down. You let me down, Keith Emerson, when you did that. Dude, if there is a God, I'm like, God, don't send people to hell because they kill themselves. You can fucking send Blake Douchebag to hell. I don't care about that guy. But Keith Emerson, how could you do that, my friend? We worship you, bro, in the prog scene. We do, right here on the Clark the Shit Show. Even the guys in Egg, I think, are still alive. I'm not sure if the drummer is, but the other two guys are legends. I'm sure when they go down to the pub in England, everyone's like, Egg. Oh, stop the bar, mate. Don't pour another drink. Egg just walked in. I would be there too, you guys, in the bar. Me, Clark the Shark, worshiping Egg. The incredible edible egg. That's right, you guys. Get this album. Buy this at Amazon, iTunes, Spotify. And if you're going to get into progressive rock, first, you got to be into Egg. You do, you guys. Because this is where it all began. It all begins with a sperm and an egg right here on the Clark the Shit Show. Baby, I'm out of here. Woohoo!